Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. I'm going to do midweek checkpoint on the market, going through a few commodities I was interested in over the weekend, and see what we could get for the coming days and of course for the coming weeks. Starting with WTI crude oil. So as we checked the chart, I think that one was over the weekend. We got continuation of that move to the upside, did reach 40.8, so it did go higher than expected. So I was expecting some lower price action to actually go halfway where it went before, so roughly stopping in the around 39, potentially slightly a bit higher. But then we got the new storm threatening the production area in the US that did of course offer some more support to the price and move to the upside and reaching almost 41. So from that point we got some reversal of the price, setting up lower high, and now we got lower low in place, and we're kind of having some sort of a head and shoulder pattern forming here with some range bond trading action between roughly 30, 39 and 40. So either it will break to the upside and do another test of 40.7, or break to the downside here, continue range bounded here until it reaches some resolution at some point. Very hard to answer now. I did start building short position on 39.5. Should we actually get higher with proper signal? We got still that trend line here that's capping the price quite nicely. So should we get some other rejection here, could add to that position. So we shall see this, but of course if we go higher, with an occasion to actually continue to add to that short position. Moving on to copper. Copper a little bit similar. So we're still having that large daily divergence that's actually pointing to that retracement down at least to 2.70. So I'm definitely interested in that trade. It's been quite powerful to the upside since we reached the bottom at 295. There's some strike actions in Chile that could actually of course bring support to the price, but my opinion is that it will be limited. We can see here we have some bull flag forming from the bottom that could actually top somewhere at 308. I've also started to build some short position around the $3 level, and I will complete that position should we actually go higher, 3.08. As we can see on the RSI trend line here, we don't have much room to the upside, and the price action was bullish today, but we've seen some sign of reversal, even if they are not final. But we could see here some rejection on that 304 level. So I don't believe this is over in terms of the upside for this, but there's a chance that we're actually going to get back down inside that channel. Should we actually break a little bit close, a bit lower today, like at $3 somewhere, that would be promising for the coming days on the short side, but otherwise we might see some further upside on copper for the coming days. Silver was interested in terms of the accumulation phase we had. It's more visible on lower time frame. So we had that ascending triangle here that was coming against 24.6. So I was trading this, but got stopped out on that large sell-off we got here that did invalidate somehow the setup. As we move back to the daily, we can see that it did find support to that large trend line we're having here. I did actually set from the low we got in March and to that continuing to support the price up here. No, so it's still holding, but still have some concern in regards to that target at 21.6, potentially extension to 20 because of the bearish divergence that's not entirely cleared up. So a bit uncertain really about silver. I think we can still go and retouch the 25 at some point, or 24.6, but this is just not really tradable for swing trade in my opinion. Here there's a risk of breaking down that could actually take it much lower, and on the upside. We're having major resistance trend line that's actually running here, and that bearish divergence that will actually prevent any significant move to the upside. So watching out what will happen tonight with the FOMC statement. That could move the price a bit, but I'm not expecting anything massive. Now moving to corn. So the grains in general, I was looking for short pattern, as we had divergences pretty much across the board. We can see here on the daily chart that we had on corn some divergence here. The momentum did manage to actually pick up above that point here, so we still in that divergence mode. So we actually close somewhere there, so it could push a bit higher, but we're having that 395 resistance that should actually cap the price, and we see that rising wedge is actually losing momentum, losing power to the upside. So I believe it's a question of time now until we see some break to the downside of this. With the first target will be 350, but we could actually see 300 should we see some proper reversal in place. So to be watched out in terms of the divergence, the bullish divergence we had at the bottom here from that point at 300. I got cleared up now. We touched the top of that, the origin of that divergence quite clearly, so there's no concern about this, about opening short from that level. Looking at coffee now, coffee might have done some interesting breakout today, although I'll be careful because we can see the 4 hours 20 MA is still around here, so we could still see some fake false breakouts here and returning inside the falling wedge, as we are still having the trend line showing the divergence, the bullish divergence here that can actually make another low that could actually go as low as 104, but potentially even breaking lower. So be a bit careful, not entering too soon on coffee, but should we actually confirm that breakout, the first objective would be a move to the upside to 118, so that could make it for an interesting trade. And finally, looking at wheat, so quite similar to corn, very a situation that's quite the same. So we got that divergence on the daily chart that was here on that peak, and the momentum managed to actually pick up and break above, but still it's still actually moving slightly lower, so that could still be valid. I think we got some significant rejection on the top of that channel here. Just zooming out on the recent uptrend we had here, that could be probably signifying that we are reaching the end of that move to the upside. Should we of course break above 615, that would actually mean that the prices will be able to break much higher, but for now there's a high chance of pullback. Seeing the lower end of the channel, of course 450, which is quite far away, but we could see at least moving to the pivot point somewhere at 530, between 5 and 530 could be a reasonable target should we actually get that confirmation of the reversal. So yeah, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. If you have any question, any comments, just drop a line underneath the video, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.